You aren't actually getting richer. You're just getting better at pretending. Right now, you're living in an era where high-definition textures and minimalist interiors are being used to mask hollow balance sheets and a net worth of zero. So ask yourself honestly, is your curated aesthetic worth trading your entire financial future for a temporary hit of dopamine? Because that's the trade you're making every single day. And nobody framed it to you that way, because framed correctly, you'd never agree to it. Let's call this what it actually is. There's an entire economy built around Gen Z that doesn't sell products anymore. It sells the appearance of a life. And the terrifying part isn't that you're buying into it. It's that most of what you're buying isn't even yours. Start with the handbag on your feet, the one that costs more than your rent. You assume the person carrying it owns it. Some do, a lot don't. There's an entire subscription industry now built around leasing the exact objects that used to signal, "I made it." Designer bags, minimalist furniture, watches, even entire wardrobes, rented by the month, shipped back before anyone notices, replaced before it goes out of style. The couch in that My Apartment glow-up video, rented. The chair that looks like it belongs in a design magazine, rented. The whole aesthetic that looks like arrival is, in a huge number of cases, a monthly bill dressed up as an achievement. That should already feel uncomfortable, but it gets worse, because renting the look was only step one. Step two is how you're paying for the version of this you can't rent. The sneakers, the skincare, the small furniture pieces, the get-ready-with-me props that need to be bought outright to look convincing on camera. And that's where the second trap kicks in. A payment system built specifically to make visual trends feel affordable in the moment they're trending and unaffordable in every moment after. You've seen it. Split the payment into 4. No big number up front, just a small bite today, and 3 more you'll barely notice later, timed perfectly so the item is already out of style by the time the final bite hits your account. You're not buying a product anymore. You're buying a depreciating asset on a payment plan, and by the time you're finished paying for it, its entire value, the trend it was supposed to prove you were part of, has already expired. You're left holding 4 payments and 0 relevance, which is the single worst trade in the entire aesthetic economy, paying full price for something that stopped being worth anything the moment the algorithm moved on. Multiply that by every trend cycle you've participated in over the last few years, not once, repeatedly. You've become, without ever agreeing to it, a walking portfolio of depreciating rental assets, a collection of things you don't fully own, bought at the worst possible moment in their value, financed in a payment plan designed to keep you locked into the next trend before you've even finished paying for the last one. And here's the part almost nobody talks about, because it's harder to see than a monthly bill. It's not just your money that's being rented out from under you, it's your attention. Every hour you spend curating the version of your life that looks like it's arrived, the lighting, the angle, the props, the caption that makes it look effortless, is an hour you didn't spend building something that would still be worth something after the post stops getting views. That's the real cost, and it's the one that never shows up on a receipt. You can't get that hour back. You can't lease it, split it into 4 payments, or return it before the trend cycle ends. Once it's spent performing wealth, it's gone, whether or not the performance worked. This is the actual mechanism keeping an entire generation feeling like they're one aesthetic upgrade away from arriving, while quietly staying exactly where they started financially. The rented items create the illusion of arrival. The payment plans make the illusion affordable enough to repeat monthly. And the hours spent maintaining that illusion are hours stolen from the only thing that ever actually moves you forward: the boring, invisible, poorly lit work of building something real. Nobody posts their actual net worth next to their apartment tour. Nobody captions the rented bag, "I pay $40 a month for this and I don't own it." Nobody shows the 4 small charges landing over the next 6 weeks for the item they wore once for a 15-second clip. You're comparing your real financial life to other people's rented, financed, curated highlight reel, and you're losing a comparison that was rigged from the very first frame. So here's the question underneath all of this. What would happen if you spent even half the money and half the attention currently going toward optics and put it towards something that doesn't depreciate the moment the trend cycle turns? That doesn't mean never buying anything nice again. It means noticing the difference between owning something because it's genuinely useful to your life and renting the appearance of a life you haven't actually built yet. It means asking before any purchase tied to a trend whether you're buying the thing or buying the 10 seconds of looking like you have it. It means recognizing that every payment plan attached to a fading trend is a bet that you'll still care by the time the bill arrives, and the aesthetic economy is counting on the fact that you usually won't check. The people who are actually building wealth right now are almost never the ones who look like it online. Their apartments don't glow the same way, their bags aren't rotating every season. That's not because they can't participate, it's because they've already done the math on what a rented aesthetic actually costs, and they'd rather own their future than lease their image of the present. You don't need to opt out of everything that looks good. You need to stop letting a curated grid decide what rich means before your own bank account gets a vote. The version of you that looks like they've arrived and the version of you that actually arrives are very rarely the same person, and right now the entire aesthetic economy is betting everything on the fact that you won't notice the difference until it's too late to change it. If this made you look at your own feed a little differently, that's the point. There's a lot more of this system worth unlearning. Subscribe and I'll keep showing you the parts nobody else will.